Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. Joe Biden and his team have a deep connection to Wall Street. CNBC just made a pretty shocking revelation about the depth of the connections between the Biden administration and Wall Street. And I thought this was interesting to talk about. So I'm going to break this down for you on the Black Financial Channel. So get comfortable, hit the thumbs up button, share, subscribe. We're going to get started right now. Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. Welcome to the blackfinancialchannel.com. That's the blackfinancialchannel.com, where we talk about black financial information and we do things from a black perspective. Put your hashtag B1 in the chat if you believe black people come first. If you believe that the black community matters, let us know. So, Jordan Cagle's asking, is this live? Yes, it's live, but it doesn't matter. Stop asking questions like that. Pay attention. Pay attention. I'm about to break something down for you that's really important. I want you to hear this. So there was an interesting article on CNBC that got my attention. I wanted to share this with you. It talks about the connections between the Biden administration and Wall Street. It turns out, surprise, surprise, that Joe Biden, the hero of the liberal left, is deeply embedded with Wall Street and big money in corporate America. Now, does this say something negative? Is this scandalous? I don't see it as being scandalous. And the only reason I don't see it as being a scandalous thing is because I know how the government works right now. But I want to talk to you guys about this for a second, because I really think this is important for you to understand when it comes to knowing what to expect from your government and knowing how to position yourself properly so that you benefit from government activity. Now, and I love you too, Jordan. I'm just messing with you, man. I'm just messing with you. All right, sometimes I'm not live. I mean, sometimes I rebroadcast stuff because people miss the first show. And so if TV can rebroadcast stuff, like, can't I? Can a brother like try to get a break? Can I go take a nap or something? Anyway, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't done it yet. Please do that right now. So let me go over here to this CNBC article. And the title of the article is that Biden's closest advisors have ties to big business and Wall Street, with some making millions. That's the title of the article, and it's by Brian Schwartz of CNBC. I encourage you to go take a look if you're into this kind of thing. And it says these disclosures were provided by the White House to CNBC early Saturday morning after requesting the documents a day earlier. The disclosures show that many of the president's closest aides have deep ties to the business world and have made more money in their past corporate careers than previously known. So they said senior Biden aides listed in the disclosure include Chief of Staff Ron Klain, Deputy Chief of Staff Jen O'Malley Dillon, Senior Advisor Mike Donilon, White House Coronavirus Response Coordinator Jeffrey Zients, and National Economic Council Director Brian Deese. These disclosures show that many of the president's closest aides have deep ties to the business world and have made more money in their past corporate careers than previously known. These disclosures were provided to CNBC, blah, 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 blah. A White House spokesperson did not respond. Of course you didn't respond, because y'all don't want to talk about this. Deese was previously the global head of sustainable investing at BlackRock. BlackRock, a huge investing firm that manages about $1 trillion in assets. So Deese was previously the global head of sustainable investing at BlackRock before becoming the head of the National Economic Council. While at the investment firm, Deese's disclosure shows that he made over $2.3 million in salary and bonuses, plus another $2.4 million in stock. Ron Klain, who was an executive at the venture capital firm Revolution before joining the White House, was listed as having a salary of $1.8 million. Blah, 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 blah. Rich white people, blah, blah, blah. More rich white people, blah, blah, blah. Another rich white person at the end, blah, 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 blah. All right, so I'm going to let you guys go read the article whenever you want to. It's totally fine. But here's what I want to do. Here's the point I want to make. You guys know my PhD's in finance. I have to say this because sometimes people are new to the platform and they think I'm a Negro just running his mouth on the internet. But no, I'm a financial expert, and I understand how the money works and how the money flows and where the money resides. And so here's the deal. When you're talking about government, there's supposed to be this sort of idealistic notion that things like, votes matter and that they're there to do the will of the people and all this other bullshit that you were taught in school when they were lying to you when you went to that little white public school that just told you George Washington was your hero and not a slave master who raped black women. Here's the reality. Your government has almost no ability whatsoever to battle the capitalist energies that exist in the United States. America has already passed the tipping point where capitalism is running everything. Your police department is being controlled by the local drug dealers. The same people that are supposed to be regulating Wall Street are from Wall Street. How are you going to regulate Wall Street when you got buddies on Wall Street that are going to call you on the phone because they know you owe them favors? Well, where does this come from? Well, it comes from things like the need for campaign finance reform, which I don't see how that's ever going to get passed, because the same people that would be voting for campaign finance reform are the people who are getting their campaigns financed. So that's not going to work. And to be president of the United States costs at least a couple $1 billion. So Joe Biden had to get that money from somewhere. Barack Obama had to get that $1 billion from somewhere. Well, where did they get that money? Well, they went to Wall Street. And Wall Street, it's raining money. On Wall Street, the streets are paved with gold. On Wall Street, they can write you a check for $1 million and not even think twice about it. So what has occurred is that you have a system where capitalism is the big brother, democracy is the little brother, and the big brother is pummeling the little brother in the face. Your country is a capitalist democracy, but it is far more capitalist than it is democratic. So if you believe these silly notions that getting out and voting is going to really change your country the way you want it to, I'm not telling you not to vote. I'm just telling you, don't be surprised if you continue to not get results. Give me a yes or no in the chat. Yes or no in the chat. I'm not here to be a cynic. I want to ask you guys, what do you think? Do you think that Congress is working on behalf of the people? Give me a yes or no. Do you feel that the Black community has benefited from the actions of elected officials? Give me a yes or no. Do you feel that Black people are better off with Joe Biden in the White House, or with Trump in the White House, or Barack Obama in the White House? Give me a yes or no. Did Black people benefit from any of this? Give me a yes or no in the chat so that I can get your perspective on this. Well, I'm going to step up and say the answer is no. And the reason the answer is no is because they do not work for you. These politicians, they need your vote to get elected, but they do not work for you. They are not working for the sheep. They are working for the people who help them corral the sheep. The people that follow the crowd, when they put up these all the billions of dollars in ads, like get your booty to the poll and interviews with Cardi B and all these other things to get you to vote, to believe that somehow this person is going to protect you from white supremacy. You go out and you vote, and then they say, good, we got the sheep in line. They're doing what we tell them to do. Now we're going to go work for the capitalists who helped us pay for the sheep. Sheep cost money. Sheep are created through advertising. They call it programming, TV programming, for a reason. They program the sheep to go out and vote in line and in droves and to do what they're supposed to do so that they can then obtain power. And you don't pay the sheep. You don't take care of the sheep. The sheep ain't gonna demand nothing. That's why people got so mad. That's why you had Black folks propped up to get mad at Ice Cube because he was demanding something from the Biden administration. The sheep don't fight. The sheep sit back and do what they're told. So you don't pay the sheep. You pay the sheep master. You pay the people who bought the sheep, because if they because they can do without the sheep for a little while, but if they go get the sheep masters who can put $10 billion or $10 million or $100 million or whatever toward advertising to get votes, then they're going to win elections. That's the big threat that happens in Congress. Whenever somebody steps up in politics and says, I want to do something for the people, well, then what happens is that the people who are in the establishment say, fine, we're going to go fund your competitor, and we're going to make sure they have all the money, and they're going to eat you up. So the bottom line is this: money runs America, period. If Black people don't get our economic game together, we will lose, period. You ain't going to vote your way to power, period. You ain't going to beg your way to power, period. You're not going to integrate your way to power, period. You must build, you must develop, you must own assets, you must make economic moves, you must establish an economic base if you're ever going to have power in a capitalist society. So get that Marxism, socialism, communism stuff out of your head. There's a place for that. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. But even socialism needs to have a budget, right? So here's what I want to get to on this. This is the final point I want to make on this. If you are an investor, give me a yes or no if you're an investor. Everybody who's an investor who buys stock and things like that, give me a yes in the chat. That's my goal. One of my goals of the platform. Everybody has an agenda, including me. My agenda is to create as many Black investors as I possibly can. So let me know. Give me a yes or no if you are invested in stock and you're following the market and things like that. Okay, and if you're not, that's okay. I'll give you a URL. We can go and you get a free training I put together, firstshareofstock.com. Here's the deal. The fact that Biden works for Wall Street is not so much a bad thing as long as you know what it is. It's almost like if somebody says, what's better, a relationship where you meet the man or woman of your dreams and you get married and you're together for life, or is it a hit it and quit it, or friends with benefits type situation where you come and get what you want and then you get back to doing whatever you were doing before? What's better? Well, there's no answer to that in my view, because it all depends on what you want, right? Some people want one thing, some people want another. What's bad is not getting one or the other. What's bad is when you don't know what it is. As long as you know what it is, then you can operate. Like you say, okay, oh, okay, so I get it. You only want to hang out with me for 3 months. Okay, bet. Now I've reframed my expectations. Now I know how to get what I want from this situation. It's gonna work, right? So that's what it is, right? Like relationships are clear when everybody knows what it is. When one person lies to the other, or one person's in love and the other person's there for a one night stand, that doesn't work out. Well, the same thing is true when it comes to politics. A lot of you fall in love with your politicians, and the politicians are not in love with you. A lot of y'all looking for romantic relationships with your political leaders, and they ain't there to love you forever. They're there for the hit it and quit it. You are a political booty call. That's what black people are. They are political booty call. We're gonna call you once every 4 years, and for those and at that time, you're gonna be the most important people in the world. And then as soon as we get what we want, we're not gonna call you back till the midterm elections. That's what it is. Do you blame white folks for that? No. You can blame yourself. If you're always the sucker who falls for it over and over again, then you got to blame yourself because you're living in a fairy tale world. The idea here, the point I'm making on this is you need to just know what it is. Know what it is. Your politicians ain't there to work for you. They work for Wall Street. Well, what's the best way to benefit from the fact that your politicians work for Wall Street? Well, you know how I benefit from the fact that my politicians work for Wall Street? I don't go looking for love in all the wrong places. I don't go looking for love for political leaders who only want to make me a booty call. I make a transaction, and what happens is I follow the money. I figure out where the money resides. So one thing I know is that the fact that Joe Biden has all these advisors around him who are tied into Wall Street means what? It means that every time a decision is made, he's going to take care of Wall Street. Wall Street will come first, just like we are B1, he's W1. W stands for white and it stands for Wall Street. So Biden is going to take care of Wall Street first, which means that if you are invested in the stock market, then you're going to get taken care of when they get taken care of. You're going to make money when they make money. If you're sitting out and you're an activist and you're hoping I don't even know, Black Lives Matter have been begging for a meeting with Biden since the start of the election. I don't even know if they ever got that meeting. And they got the man elected. He's like, I'm not going to meet with y'all. What the hell do I need y'all for right now? Right. But he's meeting with Wall Street executives on a regular basis. And I guarantee you that if the stock market crashes, him and his homeboys are going to get together and have a meeting and say, my God, my 401k is plummeting. How are we going to fix that? They're going to make that the top priority. So there's a concept in statistics called correlation. Correlation basically means that we're in the same boat. Correlation pretty much means that when you go down, I go down. When you go up, I go up. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't look for politicians to do the right thing by me just because it's the right thing to do. I trust politicians to do one thing: take care of themselves. That's it. That's all I try. Only thing I trust them to do is to do what's best for themselves. So what I want to do is I say, okay, which boat are you on? Because I know that boat ain't going to be the one that's going to be allowed to sink. Okay, you on that boat, you're on the Wall Street stock market investing boat. Well, let me get on that boat too, so that when you go do what's best for you, you're also going to do what's best for me. Love ain't got nothing to do with it. I don't fall in love with politicians. I could care less about any of those bastards in Washington because I know for a fact they do not care about you. I sat in enough private meetings with high-ranking people that I can't even tell you about to inform you that I put it on everything I love. These people are not thinking about you the way you're thinking about them. And only a sucker is going to keep falling for this nonsense. So don't be a sucker. Be smart. Keep investing. Feel free to go read the article. It's on CNBC. I'm going to read the title. Do me a favor. Hit the thumbs up button, share, subscribe button. The title is Biden's closest advisors have ties to big business and Wall Street, with some making millions. This is not going to go away. This is always going to be true. If they ever tell you that they're going to fight the big guys on behalf of the little guys, just know that they're probably lying. When when Biden pushed forward that legislation to make it illegal for you to write your student loans off in a bankruptcy, you think about this. If this law had not been passed, you wouldn't even have your student loans. A lot of y'all, give me a yes or no if you got student loans. How many of y'all got student loans and don't think you're ever going to pay them? You think the only way they're going to get paid is if Jesus writes you a check? Like, how many of y'all got student loans so big where you just literally get depressed when you look? You don't even look at it because you don't want to be sad today, right? Well, did you know that if Biden had not changed that law, you could just write it off. You could just declare a bankruptcy and write it off and get rid of it. I mean, sure, your credit will be bad for a while, but you can fix that. Like, you can still get a car with a bankruptcy on your record, and even a house if you work it right, right? So yeah, you literally would be able to write off those student loans. Well, why can't you write off your student loans? Why can't you just go down to the lawyer's office and just say, "Hey, lawyer, take my student loans off. I'm gonna go ahead and do this bankruptcy thing." Well, you can't do it because Biden passed that law. Did he pass that law on behalf of the American people? Were there millions of Americans banging down his door, begging him to make it illegal for them to write off their student loans? Or was there a bank or two sitting in the background saying, "Look, we paid for you to become a senator. You're from Delaware, which is where most corporations in America are headquartered, or not most, but the large percentage of them are headquartered there. Lots of banks are in Delaware. As the senator of Delaware, we need you to look out for the banks and make sure these deadbeat motherfuckers pay their bills." So Biden was an enforcer. He was a political cop. He was a financial police officer that went in and basically made sure that you were forced to pay your loans and that you could not get out of it. He did not do that for you. He did that for them. I'm not saying, I don't care if you think it's a bad or a good thing. We're not going to talk about all this. If you're still wondering how much we in love with Joe Biden, then this is not the platform for you, because I don't love any of these politicians. I'm telling you what it is so that you'll kind of know what you're dealing with, so you can move forward in a way that makes sense. So be an investor. These people will take care of Wall Street. It is confirmed that a large percentage of Biden's advisors are directly from Wall Street. It's because they funded a chunk of his campaign and pretty much told him who his advisors would be in certain positions. They did the same thing with Trump. They did the same thing with Obama. They did the same thing with Bush. They did the same thing with Clinton. This is how your country runs. Stop believing the fairy tale. Fairy tales are not real. Fairy tales do not exist. Fairy tales are for suckers who want to stay broke and powerless. So anyway, I'm out of here, guys. I hope you have a good day. Thank you for listening. And firstsharestock.com, that's the URL you can go to if you want to get started investing. There's a free training right there. Now, we give you an offer to join the mini class for 90% off, but you don't have to take that offer. You could just take the free stuff and just bounce. I just want to support you, and I want to see you win. I want to see you make a lot of money. So God bless you. Have a good day. Thank you for listening. I'm out. Be good. Peace.